welcome to season 5.
Thanks.
What do you mean, thanks? You're always here.
I am.
You can't get rid of her.
Never.
New year.
Yes.
Next phase of part 2.0 of season 5.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
We've got some good guests.
Oh, we've got some good guests.
I thought the last, section 1 was good, but this is even better.
But they were top quality.
They were.
But this is 2.0. So, new year.
Yes. New year, new me. No, same
Absolute
me.
bollocks.
Just maybe slightly refined.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more rested. No.
Yeah, no, not really. No,
let's not lie.
Not rested.
No.
I'm going to book a holiday, a few holidays this year, a few holidays.
I think you've said that to me every year since
No, I
I've known
am.
you.
I'm going away with the girls in October. And I've said to Mike it's a really good idea.
Is that because you'll be getting over my wedding that you'll need a holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, we've got your 𝘠𝘠𝘪𝘴.
Oh.
Which we're not going abroad for, FYI.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
You will love it though. And then we've got the wedding. And what else have I got going on? Loads.
There's loads of stuff this year. I'm quite excited for this year.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like people in 2023 had this kind of get over COVID actual time, and now we get.
But now it's 4 years since COVID. No one cares anymore.
No.
Everyone's got COVID again, and we're still here.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not ruin the vibe.
No.
So. Bradley.
Hello.
I'm so excited. So Bradley was probably on one of the first episodes I ever recorded of this podcast. 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah, I looked back and it was April 2021.
Wow.
So nearly 3 years. Yeah.
So Bradley Jago, a queer soul singer, singer-songwriter, London-based. I mean, you're everywhere at the moment, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But I love your real, honest, authentic persona that you share with the world through your music.
Thank you.
And one of your recent songs that came out was the reason why I contacted you to come back on, because I feel like you get to share your Bradley 2.0 now.
Yeah, I really feel like
Bradley
I do.
has evolved. So, tell us a little bit about your life growing up in Pompey and how you embraced this new journey in music.
Sure, so I've always lived in Portsmouth. I was born in St Mary's Hospital, right? And grew up.
That you're like, is it St Mary's?
Yeah, no, because it's not.
There's a few hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't St James.
Oh, so true. Could have been. No, I have always lived here, grew up in Fratton and moved to Copner. And then I moved to London in 2021, in September of 2021. Yeah. And then everything was kind of finishing up there. I kind of started my music here, and I was doing the pubs and bars and stuff like that.
Like at Porter's and the King's.
Sure, yeah.
And Queen's Garden Music.
Oh yeah, actually, I was talking about that with my mum and dad yesterday, because we've got it on our family calendar, a photo of us. Then
Was
they were
that before they did it up?
I think so. Yeah.
Since they've done it up.
Yeah, I went to their cafe the other day.
It's so good.
And I was like, very nice.
It's very edgy in the summer.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's very nice. And then I've started here, and then I kind of thought, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna move to London and just
press the fuck it button.
Yeah. Put in the fuck it bucket, someone said to me the other day.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm obsessed with that.
She was like, don't worry, just put it in the fuck it bucket. I was like, oh,
I like that.
I like that.
There you go.
And then I moved to London to study music, and I've in my final year of uni now, and getting ready to release my EP. So it's
so exciting.
Yeah, it's been a while. I feel like I've kind of needed to find myself as an artist for a little bit, and then for the last year and a half, I kind of took space to just write and live. You can't write if you haven't lived as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now.
And what does that look like then when you talk about kind of finding yourself? What was it, do you think, that you struggled with and recognised the need to have that time?
I think going to an arts uni really changed things for me.
I bet you've seen some
wonderful stuff. Oh yeah, so yeah, of course. But it was there was always going to be someone crazier than you. So it's you can kind of...
Weird, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and I was like, that's not very nice.
I love the word weird.
No, it's not a bad
It's
word.
no.
Good.
Yeah,
Weird,
I'm
yeah.
happy to be described as weird,
Same.
but some people,
Do you know, someone described me as bubbly once. I was like, bubbly?
that pisses me off.
Bubbly.
Yeah,
think
I don't
that's
like
just
bubbly.
a cop out for not being able to describe someone properly.
I
Yeah.
always think that that's like, oh, she's bubbly. I'm not bubbly, I'm weird. Actually, thank you.
I'm quite happy
Tell
to
'em.
be
I'd
weird.
rather be weird than bubbly. Bubbly is an aero. That's how
Yeah.
Mint.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd go
Quite
mint.
partial to a mint.
Yeah, I
In the
am.
fridge though.
Oh,
Sure.
but always in the
The
fridge.
balls or the bar?
Oh, quite partial to a ball, Bradley. So, like this authentic you, how do you feel you've? What's different?
I'm definitely a lot more. I'm just a lot more comfortable in myself in a lot of ways, and I think I've realised how important it is to share the parts of you as well, and that really gives me the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of other people do it, and I'm like, well, I would have never have gotten to this point without them sharing their experience.
Yeah.
As in famous people or...
Yeah, not always though.
Who's an inspiration for you?
Sam Smith's a massive
Yeah.
inspiration. I don't relate to their whole journey at all, but I think the kind of transformation they've gone through, like artistically and personally, and just really authentic. And I'm like,
Doesn't give a shit what people think.
yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's what life should be about. And like I feel like some things happened in my family. I was like, damn, you really have only got one life. And it's like, I'm not
We take that
gonna...
for granted, don't we? I think?
Yeah.
Like, we spend so long just plodding and being like, what is this expected life we're supposed to be? Like, go to uni, move out, get a job, family,
Yeah.
house,
Expectation that you're meant to do things in a certain
Yeah.
way or in a certain
Yeah,
list. And,
definitely.
like, you go off piece and everyone thinks you're crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
actually,
You're having a
I just want to
moment.
live my life.
Yeah, and actually I think, like, especially people my age, because quite a lot are still in that kind of bubble of, oh, you need to do it this way, and then this
Yeah.
way, and then this way, and that's fair enough. And I realised to be able to kind of chase my dream, I'm in a very privileged position that I don't have to go out and get a normal job just to kind of like pay the bills and that kind of stuff. But for the people that are in the same position as me, I think they'll realise in time, like, oh fuck, like I actually could have done whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I hope they do. Like, life is short, but it's not too short to change it at any point.
I
Live
Yeah.
for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah. So I love that saying.
Yeah,
I
I
love
do.
that saying. I've
I hope I'm here for a good time and a long time, like a really
Well,
long
yeah.
time.
You know, really. Self-awareness is a massive part of how we learn to understand ourselves and I guess live that authentic life. Press the fuck it button and just be who you want to be. What do you feel has been your biggest learning lesson over the last, say, 3 years that you moved to London that has allowed you to just completely embrace yourself flawlessly?
To be honest, I don't feel like I'm fully there yet, and I think it's something you kind of...
Forever evolving.
Yeah, and everyone changes all the time, like minute to minute you change, but it's like, it's just such a... Like, moving to a different city where you don't know anyone as well. I feel like Portsmouth can be quite small. And, like, you make one move that's a bit different, and then, like, everyone you used to know kind of knows about it, especially being on social media as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you post about certain stuff, and that kind of really freed me up. And there were points where... Obviously, I've still got, like, a lot of people from Portsmouth on social media. I was here for, like, 21 years. So, like, most of my life has been here. So, like, still now I'm like, oh, like, what will they think about it? And then I'm like, whatever.
They're not part of your life anymore.
Yeah, and, like, not in a, like, bad way. It's just, like, I think one of the key things for me is, like, the saying, those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
I kind of live through
Keep
that
that
a
going.
lot, yeah. And it's like, you either accept me for... I know I'm not a bad person,
Yeah.
so you kind of accept me for whatever
Yeah.
I am day to day, and that's not to not have any accountability, but it's like you accept me for who I am, or I don't. You can move on with the rest of them. Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
I knew you were going to say that.
Predictable.
What a classic.
No, but it sounds quite good. Do you feel like with you evolving into yourself in the last couple of years, your queer identity has grown stronger?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's something I've really learnt to embrace, and like experiment with, and just kind of let loose a bit, and just like, you're not defined by it, but you also can be if you want. And I mean, I call myself queer because it's a label I'm comfortable with. It's a label that doesn't really conform to anything as well, which I really like. And it just, being queer, I think, also says stuff about like your political mindset and like where you stand on certain issues and stuff like that. It's being queer, it's got a bit of fun in it, just like the word queer as well.
I think it's fun.
Yeah, and it's liberating. It's like reclaiming the word back to be
Because a lot of people focus queer identity on a creative sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like you talk about kind of a political world type view, and actually there are so many other strings to what that identity means to people.
Yeah.
I think it used to have quite a negative.
Definitely.
Didn't it? Because I remember once when I was younger, my nan said, I've come over all queer. I said, Nan, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Because if you say that to me, I've come over all queer. I said, you can't say that because that's not correct, Nan.
No, you tell her.
Oh, well, I did. But yeah, and we had a Flo on, do you remember, a couple of seasons ago? And last season actually, and she was talking about the word fat. And it's the same thing, like I think if you take that word back and make it, and you make it something that is fun or a positive adjective, like, I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, it's not something to be kind of ashamed of, and I think I also like to make some people a little bit uncomfortable. I know it's a bit bad,
I love making
but it's like oh, actually, because it's normally the people that are never uncomfortable as well that will get uncomfortable by the word queer, because they're in the positions of power pretty much all the time. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this word.
Right. So let's talk about kind of a mental health stance then. What is your experience? You're still very young, I know, but you have had a lot of life developments and have evolved in yourself. What has your mental health journey been like, and have there been any challenges that you've had to face?
I mean, I've been through like quite a few therapists. I've been in and out of therapy over the years, and I personally didn't find therapy that useful. That's just my personal thing. I probably didn't find the right type of therapy, and I didn't have the money to pay out for like different types of therapy. And it was like, luckily now I still get quite anxious, but I'm kind of all right right now. But it was definitely a journey, and like realizing that you've one, that you need it in the first place. That you're like, oh yeah, this isn't normal. And I think I first realised that because I was like, it's like I haven't always felt like this. But then I remember looking back and being like, oh wait, I have always kind of felt like this. But and it's a really weird one, because like initially, I was like, this really isn't like me, because it got like, the anxiety got really intense, and I was like, I'm generally quite a like confident, stable person, and then I was second guessing everything and like staying up at night and like just couldn't kind of get through the day as I usually would. And then I think I thought back to like when I was in therapy, they got me to like a timeline of stuff. And I was like, oh, actually I remember when like the Sunday scaries before school, but like mine was so intense, and I was like, oh, that would have been anxiety. Yeah. Sure, that would have been it.
Scary.
Yeah.
I actually love the Sunday scaries.
How many of us actually can relate to what you've just said?
It's like school, work.
Yeah. University sometimes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You are completely right. Lots of people get severe anxiety on Sundays, don't they?
Yeah.
I love it because I go back to work and I go, bye kids! I'm like, woo, I skip into Monday.
It's interesting, isn't it, that it's not till you're presented with a moment to reflect that you then have that recollection that actually that was something more than I actually thought it was.
Yeah.
And then you put the mental health card on it and then it becomes a thing, like a label, and you start to then process through other things.
Yeah.
Do you feel like growing in the music industry has had an impact on kind of your self-doubt, your confidence, and maybe the kind of, I guess it's a very competitive industry, and that has an impact on your mindset?
Yeah, I think one, I've realised how small the industry is, which is really small, and like not that I'm anyone or anything yet, but like as you start moving, thanks. But like in the grand scheme of things, really no. But even in my position, I can see like how this person lends this person, this one, and like that might just be a very London thing, but also the British music industry is pretty much London when you look at like the statistics of it. It is London, and that's made me be like, okay, I can do it, like fine, like there's only like this person to this person, fine, this person to this person, and like if you think about it that way, it's not a lot, but then I get really anxious about pissing people off.
Okay.
And one of my worst things is kind of like the interpersonal relationships.
Managing that.
That really causes me a lot of anxiety. And like, I don't know, sending the email that's been like, oh, like I didn't appreciate this, and like I'm right to say it, or like if there's a deadline that someone hasn't met, and I'm right to chase them for it, but that causes me so much anxiety.
And you're like, oh, I need to say it, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
I love that.
The conflict.
Yeah.
You're one for conflict, aren't you?
Sometimes it makes me feel like, oh, businessman. I'm like,
yes, I got it.
yeah. And then other times I'm like, fuck, like this could all go. But then I also think, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I love thinking that.
Yeah.
What is the actual worst that could happen?
And I guess if you're confident and true in what you're saying because it's right, then nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think if they never
want,
if they never want to work with me again, well,
fine.
The rubbish is taking itself out.
Exactly.
So your new single,
I love it.
came out in November.
Thank you.
I love it. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
you
go
know
for
on
it.
the cover?
Yeah.
Whose nails are they?
They're mine. Yeah. I stuck them on my nail tech. I normally have my nails done, but I haven't at the moment.
You?
Yeah. Not that long.
Because they are long and red. I was like, oh, I took my red off for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't noticed the nails before on the cover, and I saw it a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go back red.
Yeah.
I love a red stiletto nail.
Yeah. No, I
I haven't actually. No.
I can't not. I keep watching it, and I play the song in the car all the time, and I'm just
I
like,
listen to the song in my ears. I'm like
fangirl.
Oh, thanks. Thank you
But
so
I
much.
haven't watched the video. No.
Oh, you need to watch it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
thanks.
will.
So Rejection came out in November. What's it been like since it came out?
Great. I mean, before that it was Forever Young, which was kind of like my
I love that as well.
Thank
That's
you.
so nice.
Oh, thank you so much. It was like I was really nervous because I hadn't released anything for like 2 years at that point, and it was like the first one from the EP, and I was like, okay, this is like the start of it all. Like it's all gonna go, and then Rejection I was even more nervous about because of like what it talks about, and like where it's positioned, and like the cover and all of this stuff. But for context, Rejection is about growing up in a small city and feeling like I haven't really got as many options, and staying with someone for too long that I shouldn't have, and it was the classic.
So many people can relate to it, whether it's the same or a marriage or a friendship, or I think so many people could relate. Well, I think probably everyone could relate to it in a sense. Your song,
Thanks. Yeah.
especially if you're from Portsmouth. course not.
One of the lines in it that you have written really rings true, and I think that's why I connected with the song quite a lot, and it was along the lines of you keep me around because I'm too scared that no one will love me.
Yeah.
And I think so many people can relate to that line. There are so many, and a lot of it came out of COVID, of people reassessing and revisiting their life and realising life's too short, and reflecting on certain experiences and relationships and friendships in their life, and kind of being like, actually, this isn't enough for me. And you're not enough for me. But actually, I don't believe in myself enough to think that there's more.
Like I knew it wasn't right, and like it wasn't even a process of like getting out of it and realising like I was in it, and it was like, but I just didn't have the confidence to leave.
Before you know it, you're years down the line, aren't you? That's my ex-relationship. I remember looking back, and when people say like, oh, you know, because I don't speak very fondly of my ex, and he was complete control freak. It wasn't a bad... my first boyfriend was very lovely, actually, but we were young. But he was a control freak, quite a narcissist, actually. I didn't know what that meant at the time. And when people say, oh, how long are we together? I'm like, 4 years. Such a long time. And I've always been quite a strong character, and I felt weak in that relationship. Had I been any more timid, I probably would have lost all my friends, all my identity, and all my self-worth, actually. So if I'd had your song then, I think it would have given me a little push.
That means a lot.
So people listening to that will be in that situation, and they'll think, fuck you.
I hope so.
Press the fuck bucket. Put it in the fuck bucket.
That could be something completely different.
That's another song.
Merchandise.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you're in those situationships or relationships, whatever you want to talk about, in terms of your own self-worth, and how until you're out of it, you don't recognise the impact or the toxic behaviours that you've experienced. Do you feel like that experience for you led to pressing the fuck it button and just going and being Bradley?
I don't think that was like a it was part of like a bigger thing, and just realising I'm not gonna settle in any
and you
aspect.
won't put up that shit ever again.
No.
I think that those lessons are sent to us for that reason.
I'm not gonna settle in relationship, friendships, family, work. It's like, if it's not right, I will do everything in my power to change it, or I will leave. And it, like, of course you have to compromise, but sometimes, but if it's like the fundamentals of who you are and what you really believe in, you shouldn't settle. Like, and I think that's part of the reason why I've never been in a relationship, like, because I don't want to settle.
Good for you.
And it, I don't know, but that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other episode.
I've got friends that are like, I mean, in fact, one friend in particular, she's been a friend of mine for 20 years. She's like a raving sort. She's so fit. She's recently, I think she's been in a relationship now for like 18 months, and it's with a friend's brother, and he's lovely, and it was a very unlikely relationship, but it's going swimmingly. But she'd had a couple of relationships where she had really settled in the past, and she was single for such a long time. And people were like, oh, you're being too fussy.
No, fuck that, honestly.
I was like, Fee, you are absolutely... I hope she doesn't mind me using her name. Absolutely not being fussy. Like, you are... She has her own home. She has a fantastic career. She's a sort. You know, she goes on... She's so independent. And I'm like, you need someone to enrich that. Not someone to... You don't need to settle for anyone.
That's the whole point of a relationship, is that you've built your life and you've built your identity. That person comes in and excels what you've already got. And 100%. They're the final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And not always. Some people, like Samantha from Sex and the City, for example, she's single forever. She loves it.
No, and I think people do define their life through their relationship a lot of the time, and it's not always important.
No. Like, have you got a man yet?
Yeah.
No.
Or the stereotype when your nan said, oh, when are you going to get married?
Settle down and have babies. Oh. Yeah.
So what's next for you?
EP.
Oh, so
EP.
when's that?
9th of February.
Soon.
Yeah, I know, really soon.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I think I'm
Are
up.
you having a launch party?
I might. Yeah.
Shall we come?
Of course.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah, please.
We
Yeah.
can't say no.
Right on the spot. No, of course.
At the end of it, Hannah, no, you can't come.
He's going to text us after.
Please
That's a
take
bit
that
awkward.
episode out of the episode.
Yeah, edit that.
Oh yeah, you should have a launch
Yeah,
party.
I would like to. Yeah, it's I need to sort it all out. I'm all
You're
independent,
running
so
out
I'm
of
like,
time.
Yeah.
I know I am.
It's 2 weeks time.
But no, I think I'm uploading the EP today, which is like I got my masters yesterday, so it's all like
Oh yeah, that's a good time
Like,
to like
yeah.
tie it up in a nice
Do
bow.
crazy. Yeah. But yeah, next is then I've got a headline gig in London on the 20th of Feb.
Oh cool, what's
It's in.
Are you free? Can we go?
that? Only for Feb. I am actually free.
It's a Tuesday, so it's a bit of a random day.
Quite like a Tuesday in London.
Yeah.
You're outrageous. This is what happens. Like you're basically inviting yourself to a wedding.
No, please.
No.
But I mean, it's ticketed, so you'll have to buy a ticket.
I'm quite happy to buy a ticket.
Yeah, same.
And then it's in a bar called Donna, and it's this like they say it's pop up, but it's been there for a little while, so I don't really know if it is. But it's this like tequila bar, and it's all pink and feathery,
Oh my god, it's
and
brands.
it
Parents, do you
looks
fancy a trip to London on the 20th of February?
and like I haven't actually ever been,
Oh.
but I've seen it online, and I'm like, oh my god,
Donna's. We should
Donna,
find
yeah, yeah,
And
I'm
then,
buzzing.
We'll get a free shot of tequila if we mention them in our podcast.
Yeah, Donna,
Donna's.
Donna.
Stoke
We'll
Newington.
ring Terence and he'll record content for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's really lovely for me to sit with you and spend some time talking, bearing in mind we spoke years ago and the difference.
Yeah.
And you've just evolved into something so beautiful
Thank you.
and authentic that it is so lovely to just see the next version of you. And I'm excited for like in 5 years' time we'll do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for
He'll
sure.
be-
Although he'll be too famous then.
He'll be so famous.
No.
We'll have time.
Yeah,
God.
he'll be headlining Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you
Oh,
imagine? Have you got any
imagine.
festivals coming up?
No, I haven't. No, nothing confirmed yet.
Okay.
But hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, Victorious.
I was going to say, would you do Victoria?
Yeah, I would.
It's got
Yeah,
some
yeah.
peak, hasn't it?
I know it has. Yeah. Don't love the lineup this year.
No.
Sorry, I know it's a bit.
Well,
I know it's a bit controversial, but I'm not obsessed with
I'm
it.
not obsessed either.
Sorry.
I'm holding out.
Previous years
When
have
will
been-
Yeah,
I
no, they
Monkeys
have.
be on the lineup? Every year I'm like,
Done it.
no, they haven't. No, they have not. The streets have. But Monkeys haven't.
Defined with
They have not
that.
done it, have they, Terence? That's it, Monkeys haven't done it, have they?
Not yet.
No.
Kaiser Chiefs a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot. Every year. All Saints were fantastic. They were my favourite that I've ever seen at Victorious.
Oh, I didn't go last year, but
I
I've
would have
been.
liked to
I've
have
been.
seen
Maybe
you
the year
there
before.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good.
Pete Tong was supposed to be fantastic as well. Was that last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough from us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
We will share about the new single that got launched in November
So
and the
good.
EP and all of the, especially the album cover, and about your up and coming gigs as part of the podcast. So if you want to follow Bradley, then all of the details will be on the episode.